Hello my friends, this is Jose from LUOVITA, and today I'm going to some destructive behaviors that stops us from being ourselves sometimes. So that it can be a sign of distress and need sometimes, these self-destructive behaviors. These actions are often sometimes irrational and come from certain addiction to certain feelings, for example. You know, this world is complex, as you know, this is a complex place, and we all are forced down to some stuff that are not really healthy, and these behaviors are not our way, for example, to handle with this negative emotions. So there are many ways to overcome these, and you don't have to really to suffer alone. So the most common self-destructive behaviors are, for example, some drugs or alcohol or self-harm. So these are associated with these destructive feelings that we have. Self-destructive behavior can also lead to some social suicide, so a tendency to isolate yourself from friends and people by engaging in some behaviors. So if we don't acknowledge these negative emotions, that can lead us to some illness. So fortunately there is help, there is ways not doing this. This self-destructive behavior cannot prevent us just from being from our true self, and it's normally based on this emotional need. So this behavior can be a way to avoid a particular situation or emotion. And this action can cause, for example, intense and unpleasant feelings, and are usually an attempt to satisfy other emotions. So often, for example, the cause of these negative behaviors is not the lack of desire, but some kind of dysregulation. So this self-destructive behavior is a form of self-harm that we use, for example, to meet some emotional needs. And the cause of these behaviors is not necessarily an emotional need sometimes, but rather this internal voice that is critical and often triggered by this person's own feelings. And this critical voice essentially keeps people from fulfilling their own potential, and is often an attempt to satisfy these emotional needs we have. So the desire is never the problem, but it's like this regulation of this person's mind that keeps us from being our true selves. It's not easy to stop this behavior sometimes. It's important to remember that these behaviors are temporary. So if you want to stop, so for example, the first step is to become more aware of your past experiences. For example, if you've been abused or suffering from something, or you are suffering from this limitation belief about yourself, and if you're suffering from these behaviors, you also should take some steps to overcome this. Some of these behaviors are sometimes irrational, can be prevented. That means they are not really healthy for you or for others, and they are damaging for our physical, manchmal, or mentally well-being. And the best way to overcome this self-harm is to make an effort to stop doing it. That means you can find the best ways. While these behaviors they are sometimes harmless, they can also be harmful. So those who have this kind of behavior are likely to suffer from this, as I said, disorders, or likely to be just unhappy. We are also having this higher chance of being a victim, because whether you are, for example, to have these destructive behaviors to hurt yourself, or from avoiding painful emotions, they will prevent you from being your true self. Some people, for example, drink excessively or find, for example, you have to think about the downside of each of these behaviors. They may not be harmful directly, but over long term they are for our physical, mental health. So they can have negative consequences for the rest of our lives. So they are also an attempt to, as I said, satisfy these emotional and physical needs. For example, this lack of control of the emotions. So it's never really about the desire, but it's about this dysregulation of emotions. It's about trying to satisfy the needs sometimes of others. And we are more likely to get into depression if we have this, and anxiety. So if you need help, I have more resources in the description, links, and check them out. Let me know. Let me also know if this did help you. This is based on certain research I made and also personal experience, but these videos are here to help. So let me know what did help you, what do you think about this, and we are in this together. So courage and take care. Until next time. Bye.